It began quietly, without the usual fanfare that surrounds a Ferrari announcement. No glossy press release, no overproduced social media video, just a private internal meeting inside the Maranello technical office where senior engineers laid out the first confirmed direction for Ferrari's 2026 Formula One car. And somewhere in that discussion, a fundamental shift took place. The kind of decision that doesn't just tweak a front wing or reprofile a suspension arm, but rewrites the DNA of a racing team. For the first time since Lewis Hamilton walked through those famous red doors, Ferrari's design philosophy will tilt decisively toward his way of driving. Not as a token gesture, not as a "we'll try a few things your way," but as a central pillar of the new car's concept. Think about the significance. This is a team that has historically been slow, sometimes stubborn, to pivot away from what it knows, especially when one of its drivers, Charles Leclerc, has been the reference point for car development for over half a decade. But 2025 has forced a reckoning. A season that began with cautious optimism has spiraled into underwhelming results, strategic dead ends, and a growing realization that the SF25 simply doesn't give Hamilton the platform he needs. And with the sweeping regulation changes of 2026 looming, smaller cars, new aero targets, fresh power unit rules, Ferrari has decided it cannot afford to enter that new era with a car tailored to the wrong strengths. The stakes could not be higher. If they get this right, 2026 might be Hamilton's last wish and best shot at an eighth world championship. If they get it wrong, it risks cementing his Ferrari chapter as a footnote rather than a triumph. And the questions are already swirling. How much of Hamilton's Mercedes-honed expertise will Ferrari truly integrate? Will Leclerc adapt to a car born from his teammates' input? Or will the Scuderia find itself managing a politically delicate split in driving styles? And perhaps the most intriguing, can Hamilton's fingerprints on the 2026 design break a title drought that has haunted Maranello since 2007? Because make no mistake, this is not just another development cycle. This is the moment where Ferrari either learns to listen to the most successful driver of the modern era or repeats the same old mistakes in a brand new car. To understand why this decision matters so much, you have to rewind to the start of 2025. Ferrari's winter testing pace was promising. Not dominant, but within striking distance of McLaren and close enough to keep Red Bull honest. Analysts pointed to a development curve that, if sustained, could finally close the gap. But by mid-season, that curve had flatlined. Upgrades weren't sticking. New parts produced marginal gains, in qualifying only to fade over long runs. Tire degradation remained a stubborn weakness, and Hamilton's comfort level in the SF25 never improved. By the summer break, the team had slipped behind McLaren in the constructors' standings and was under real threat for Mercedes in points. Ferrari has been here before. In 2016, Mercedes faced a similar decision with major regulation changes on the horizon for 2017. They split resources carefully, enough to win the title in the current year, while laying the foundation for the next. It worked, but Ferrari's history is littered with the opposite, sacrificing future competitiveness to chase short-term glory, or shifting focus too early and losing momentum entirely. The decision to pivot hard toward 2026 mid-season carries both the weight of opportunity and the risk of repeating those past mistakes. The key difference this time is Hamilton. Unlike Leclerc, whose entire Formula One career has been spent inside Ferrari's orbit, Hamilton arrives with a memory and technical understanding of how a championship-winning team evolves. For Ferrari, for Hamilton, and for the shape of the next Formula One era. Formula One is a sport of fine margins between grip and slip, bravery and overreach, evolution and extinction. Ferrari's decision to hand Lewis Hamilton the keys to their 2026 concept is not a tweak, it's a declaration. They are betting that the most successful driver of the modern era, with 7 world titles and nearly 2 decades of top-tier experience, can guide them through a regulation reset and back to the summit of the sport. It is, in every sense, a high-wire act, because the truth is, this isn't just about whether Hamilton adapts to Ferrari. It's about whether Ferrari can adapt to Hamilton. That means not just listening to his feedback in design meetings, but embedding it in the DNA of the car before the first carbon mold is laid. It means rethinking the processes that have historically slowed their reaction time. It means building a car with a balance, predictability, and adaptability to survive an entire season's worth of variables, from the short straights of Monaco to the high-speed sweeps of Suzuka. In a year's time, the first pre-season shakedown laps in Bahrain will tell us if that gamble has paid off. Every camera will be trained on Hamilton's first braking zone, on how the car changes direction, on his first debrief back in the garage. Is there that subtle nod to the engineer that says, yes, this is what I wanted, but does the body language hint at another season of compromises? The stakes for Leclerc are no less significant. Sharing a garage with Hamilton in a car designed to suit him will be the ultimate test of adaptability. If Leclerc thrives in it, Ferrari could have the most balanced driver pairing on the grid. If he struggles, Maranello may find itself back in the political turbulence it has worked so hard to avoid. One way or another, 2026 is shaping up to be more than just another season. It's the collision point between legacy and opportunity, between a team's search for redemption and a driver's pursuit of history. And for the first time in years, the question isn't whether Ferrari will fight for wins. It's whether they'll finally have the courage in the car to fight for it all.